DJ need to turn my music up.
3, 2, 1, action. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Pretty Nikki here, and I'm back with another YouTube video. So this is a testimony video. So here's the thing, right? This video was already recorded. Like, I already recorded this video. The results were premature, so I wanted to wait a little bit to properly record this testimony video so that I can really, show y'all what I went through and the results and how God showed up for me. So in order for me to do that, I already recorded a video that's like 22 minutes long. So this is a whole re-recording, okay? This is a record. So this is take 2. So this is a testimony video of how God blessed my academics. And I think this video is gonna be the bomb because my energy level is like, it's like this.
Why we gonna turn it down? Let's turn it on.
If I'm too happy for you, go ahead and click off. We don't have time for that depression. We don't have time for that, okay?
Excuse me.
This is a joyful video, and this is after months of toiling and praying and a little bit of worrying and stuff like that. So like, God really showed out for us in this moment. So like, we're not gonna be just sitting here on
over there stank.
God bless me. Nah, bro, we gotta turn over this video. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm too happy for you, or this is like too much, click that button. Find somebody else's YouTube channel. Hopefully they can tell their testimony in a calmer tone than I can tell my testimony. But it's nothing but excitement and joy over here. Okay, we're gonna start from. I'm gonna tell you guys how God blessed my academics. And I'm gonna do as best as I can to stay along the timeline of when everything happened and how everything happened. Just because, when y'all telling a story and you totally forget certain parts, you skip certain things that happened in a certain time, that happens. So this is like a story time / testimony. All right, so we're gonna start. So I graduated class 2021 high school. I graduated from East Mecklenburg. Class of 2021, right? Graduated, finished that. If you want me to tell you a testimony about my graduation, you know what? This is probably going to be a very long video because it's going to be 2 in 1. And the reason why is because both of these stories have similar endings. So this is probably going to be a long video. Hopefully y'all can stick around because y'all watch 10-hour videos of somebody gaming. Y'all watch 2-hour videos of somebody eating a chicken wing. So y'all can sit here for like a couple of minutes while somebody tells their story. Okay, so we're gonna start with high school. These story times basically align with how God basically has been blessing my academics. That this story time is not just about me, but this is also bringing glory to the Lord. This video shows how God is our provider, He is our defender, and He is our preventer. He is Jehovah Nissi, my banner. He was Jehovah Nissi, my banner in high school. This is the same God that helped me graduate high school. He showed up for me 2 times. You know what I'm saying? So here's the story of my academics. So it all started in middle school. My academics weren't that good in middle school. It was a plethora of reasons why I didn't do so good in middle school. I'm going to try to condense this story as much as possible because I don't want to, Anyways, so in middle school, my academics weren't that great. I had a very hard time concentrating. Because I was so focused on popularity and hanging out with people that it was really taking a toll and really kind of taking out of my academics. I wasn't really focusing on my academics as a student. I had a hard time concentrating and studying wasn't really my habit. I just had a very hard time concentrating. And I used to go to a school called Charlotte Secondary. It was a charter school. Now, mind you, I was doing the best I could to, do good academically. I think I was held back either once or twice, but I was held back twice. In my opinion, I don't feel like that school genuinely helped me academically. Now, it is a 2-way street, meaning it was them because they were trying to help, but like I felt like if I would have stayed at that school, my academics would have continued. They wouldn't have helped me at all. They weren't fighting for you to succeed, and a lot of those teachers weren't really authorized to really teach in a classroom. No shame, but it was just the honest truth. The only thing I can say that I was able to graduate from middle school to junior high in Charlotte Secondary CSS, but that was only because that was my last year there. So I was, I think, what is that called? That's how you know I've been out of school. Yeah, it's been 5 years since I graduated high school. So if I don't remember the terms, like I don't even know when kids are not in school. Like literally, it's been that long since I graduated high school. So anyways, I went into the next grade. I started junior high and middle school and everything like that, but that was one of the last years I was at that school. Like I said, I was failing. I wasn't doing so good. Like I said, it was part of my problem. I was not studying. I was very irresponsible with work. And my grades suffered as a result of that. The most I could say when I would work my hardest, I brought my grades up to the most like a D. A 60 is like a D. I don't know if that's considered, I don't think that's considered passing, but it was only by God's grace. I don't know how I was able to really make it up the ladder like that, because my grades were disgusting, my GPA was disgusting, but I was able to make it up the academic ladder. I'm trying to work on looking at the camera, but I'm not going to be able to do that this whole video, to be honest. So I just felt, me and my mom felt that school was not good academically for me because it was not helping me academically. They were not fighting for me the way I wanted them to fight for me. And I'm not trying to throw shots at a lot of teachers, because there were actually some teachers that were fighting for me the way they needed to fight for me. And those were teachers that I generally had love for. Some of them did do their best. But like the way that this counselor fought for me in East Mech versus Charlotte Secondary, they could have did a little better than that. So my last year was at Charlotte Secondary. I got totally tired of the school. The school wasn't helping me, so we changed over. Now, I was originally trying to get transferred to Providence High School, which was kind of predominantly white school. Now, I don't have a problem with whites, but I'm more of a diversity person. So like, I can't take much of just one race in a segment or in a, I just can't deal with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to see, I believe God made everybody different races for a reason. If the whole planet was just one race, it would be one dull planet. And I think that God creating blacks, whites, Mexicans, Chinese, that's his expression. So I need to be around other cultures and people and everything like that. So the fact that it was a predominantly white school, it wasn't really, and I heard that they only looked after their, kind of like a racist situation, they only looked after their white students. They didn't really care much for the other students of ethnicity and things like that. So long story short, we ended up getting denied. It was me and my sister, we ended up getting denied. We ended up going to East Mech. I didn't want to go to East Mech because I thought East Mech was ghetto. East Mech has been on the news for shootings, fights. They were still fighting when I went there. East Mech has been on the news for infamous events. I didn't want to go to East Mech. I didn't want to associate with anything ghetto. But when I attended the orientation, the school was very presentable. It was nice. There were everybody of all types of cultures, races there. It was nice and everything like that. So I fell in love with the school. I was excited. You know what I'm saying? It was a different atmosphere. It was just amazing. Like, it was a different school. So long story short, I come to this school with this already damaged academic reputation. My academics are trash. Go in, and the same habits that I had at that old school was practiced at this old school. And when I tell you I don't miss that for nothing, everybody with growing pains will understand this. The typical, going through the whole, like, teachers calling your parents and you getting home just for your parent to lecture you about you not doing right. Then you end up being on punishment. Yo, those talks was the worst. The worst. Those are just one of the growing pains of going to school. You know what I mean? And like, one day I finally got it together because it was getting to that time. I played around a little bit too much when it got to at least the middle of my junior year. Once again, it was the same habits I was practicing, getting involved in drama, gossip, and everything like that. I was not focusing. The problem was me. That's why I kind of explained to y'all that school, CSS didn't really help me, but the problem was it was the way I was handling myself academically. So I was kind of contributing to why I wasn't doing so well in school. So the old habits that I had, I ended up bringing them with me, and it was holding me down. And then I don't know what happened, but I guess there was common sense that God put in me. I decided to start getting serious. And that was before COVID. No, excuse me. I think COVID happened in the middle of junior year. I'm not so sure. But it was a counselor that I had. I don't even want to reflect to that yet before we started doing homeschooling. So as soon as I started getting serious about that, it was a counselor I had. We're going to call her Stephanie. So Stephanie was my counselor, my guidance counselor and everything like that. So I needed actual help to get what I needed to get so that I can graduate. This video is already 10 minutes. I already told you this video is not gonna be quick. So I'm trying to get this everything as fast as I can. But anyway, so Miss Stephanie was trying to help me. I remember the first time I had to go to her office. You know, guidance counselors are provided to students at all times to help you with credits, to help you graduate. But, you know, all of this, y'all know, you go to school, you know what's up. So, like, I went to her and everything like that. And the first time, I'm not going to lie to you, I was kind of standoffish with her. Because she kind of sounded like she had an attitude problem. And I wasn't for it. I was like, I didn't want to do no guidance counseling, no attitude problem. But, like, she was basically telling me the requirements that I needed. And when she was breaking down the requirements that I needed in order to graduate, to go to senior year. No, excuse me. Okay, so I was still a sophomore, right? Way out of place. I was supposed to have been a junior by now. So during that same year, I ended up being moved to the junior year. God caught me up like so quickly. And the thing about God is, and I know I sound like I'm all over the place, but like as I'm talking to you, I'm literally mentally going back through this timeline to try to tell y'all properly. The way that I caught up and the way I was able to graduate on time was not normal. It was not normal. This was totally supernatural. I was in my sophomore year. I was supposed to have been a junior. She told me I needed a certain amount of requirements in order for me to bump me up to the junior year. So I ended up working hard to meet those requirements, certain classes. It was certain classes I needed to take. I had to get a certain grades and stuff like that. In that same year that I was a sophomore, she sent me an email to let me know that I was a junior. I ended up being, going up a grade to my junior year. So I was all caught up and everything like that. That was nothing but the hand of the Lord. And then when COVID happened, that's when everybody had ended up going to remote school, online school. And then I just remember focusing so hard on my grades. And I just felt like I didn't have a lot of distraction around me. And like I was just focusing super, super hard on my grades. I was studying. Usually I would rush through homework, but I remember taking hours to do my homework and everything like that. I was still not there yet with the studying. I still very much hated studying. The work I was doing didn't really require studying. Also because I didn't have that many classes. I had a science class, I had a math class, but I had 2 fitness classes and everything like that. Fitness class is an easy class. You have to do, only thing you're required of a fitness class is doing physical activity. Like you have to work out. That's all you have to do. And because I'm naturally athletic, that's obviously no skin off my back. I work out often from time to time. So fitness is definitely, so it was not hard for me to get a good grade in that class. But other than that, like everything else, every other subject that wasn't attractive or just really my forte, anything like that, I had to really make sure that I got hard into these academics, into these studies. I don't know if there's anything else to highlight in this story. I ended up doing what I needed to do and I ended up graduating on time. The next thing you know, I'm getting emailed that I'm a senior, my guidance counselor. And I believe that she was strongly put at East Neck for me because shortly after I made it on the senior list, I was on the roster list for seniors. I was on the list for the graduation when we had to practice how as students with our cap and gowns, the organization. So I had to practice all of that. So when I realized that I had made it to that, it was a joy. That was something that God accomplished. That was a joy that I had, actually. And fast forward, graduation comes, I walk across the stage.
Nicholas Deanthio Williams, Mackie Eugene Williams, Ivana Dominique Williams, Deanna Williams, Allison.
With my degree, I will receive my degree in June. I walk across the stage with my diploma. And by the grace of God, I was able to walk across the stage because I'm not going to lie to you. Y'all know COVID, they had those drive-through graduations, and I'm not throwing shots at anybody that had a drive-through graduation. That is not a real graduation. I'm sorry. That is not a real graduation. I don't know who that. I just feel like you got cheated and you had a drive-through graduation. I'm not trying to be rude. I just feel like, dog, you got cheated. It's nobody's fault. Everybody was so afraid of catching COVID. They tried their best to do the non-distant, the 6 feet mess. The most I could say, I just didn't have a prom. And I wanted to have a prom so badly. I could lie to you because I had already fashioned my mind. The way I dress now, I was like, I'm going to cut up. I'm going to go to look like the first dude and everything like that. But it just didn't happen like that. I didn't go to prom. And everything happens for a reason. So it was a reason why I didn't go to prom. But, like I said, I ended up graduating. That day was the best day of my life. That was the day that Satan lost. When I tell you God ushered divine speed, I graduated on time at 18 years old. That is supernatural. That is record breaking. I don't know what protocol would be for somebody else that is trying to catch up with their credits so that they can graduate. But when the lady that I was dealing with already looked in the system, I had enough credits that I needed. I just had to get more credit so that she could bump me up and catch me up. And she helped me. She was a divine helper that the Lord sent for me, and I ended up being able to catch up academically. And I ended up walking across the stage, 18 years old, with a high school diploma. You know what I'm saying? I finished high school, and that was 5 years ago. I still look at that video and I still rejoice and I thank God. And sometimes it's a reminder because, one of the growing pains as a Christian, sometimes you can forget what God has done for you already. And it's not intentional, but it just happens. You get bombarded with all this stuff, you forgot what he's done for you already. You know what I'm saying? And it's not trying to make a habit of it, but it happens. You know what I'm saying? But my mom was happy because she was fighting along with me to graduate, because she was with me when I got held back. I would say that granted, it was my fault, responsibility, but I was very challenged with my academics. The enemy fought me very hard with my academics. I'm not sure why, but he fought me really hard so that I couldn't succeed, so that I couldn't reach the destiny that I need to reach. And God, in this moment, he was with me. He was my divine helper. He sent divine helpers. He was my banner. That day I graduated, he was my banner. He helped me, my helper. You know what I'm saying? And I just praise him. It was not by my own strength. Nicholas didn't do it. Nicholas had to follow instructions, but Nicholas didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward, that's the first testimony of how I graduated high school. So now this one is basically how God helped me with my academic progress. So after graduation, I obviously waited a while to get into college. And I'm not going to lie to you, in the beginning, I didn't want to go to college because I already made in my mind that I'm done with school. I don't want anything to do with school, grades, nothing. And a lot of my friends that I went to school with, a lot of them went to school and everything like that. And I'm looking at them like, good for you. You gotta sit in the classroom with a teacher. You gotta do this and this and that. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't want to go to school anymore. I was done. And then one thing my mom kept saying, she let me know, she said, y'all gotta do better than me. Because she was like, okay, it's your decision, right? So I was like, I don't want to go to college. I'm cool. I'm good, right? And she just y'all have to do better than me. And I'm not going to lie to you, that was not an overnight change. I already disconnected myself from academics and grades. And you telling me I got to go back in this? But college is a very beautiful experience, just so you know. For some of you, if college is not for you, it's based on you or what you're called to. Certain things may not be a good experience for you because you weren't called to that thing in the first place. But college is a great experience. I'm proud to say I'm a college student. I'm glad to say that in my life I went to college. You know what I'm saying? So I eventually time goes and I end up signing up for college. Should I say the name of the school? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. So I go to Central Piedmont CPCC. Now I've heard a lot of good things about CPCC. CPCC is a good school academically. I've heard a lot of students say that it's very easy and that they don't really treat you like a number. And from my experience, I can definitely back them and say they don't treat you like a number, they treat you like a person, and they do the best that they can to help you. So I signed up for school, classes and everything like that. So my first ever semester, I had theater class, I had my ACA transition class because I'm trying to transfer to university. So in order to transfer to university, you need transitional classes. So I needed transitional classes. Did that, but it was this math class that I had. I wasn't struggling with the material. I surprised myself with how good I was at math. The class was easy. The problem was, it was once again responsibility. I was unfamiliar with how we would receive our assignments. Because if you go on Brightspace, it's one tab, you have the introduction, the instructor introduces themselves, and you have this tab over here where it shows you the list of assignments that they'll be giving you. So I didn't see the list of assignments, it's done differently. And I ended up, like, the work ended up stacking. Mind you, it was an 8-week course. It was an 8-week course. Hope I'm not calculating wrong. It was an 8-week course, so it was very short. And I remember one day I looked at my computer and I saw how behind I was. I fought really hard as much as I can to catch up. The lady was no help at all. I'm not trying to be rude, but I have to be honest. I was emailing her in regards to me. I was fighting the best I could to catch up. I was completing all the assignments and everything like that. And she was just no help. I remember emailing her one morning, I'm being driven to school about it. The only thing she could, the only advice that she offered me was, can you pick up the pace a little? And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was like, you know what I'm saying? I felt that as a teacher, she could have done more. You know what I'm saying? But she just like, anyway, but she wasn't no help at all. And by the time I got to the end, it was actually the last day of that class. It was no way I was gonna be able to review the material. And I'm on video chat with this lady for a little bit, and I'm gonna do the final test. So it was just absolutely no way that I was gonna get it done. So I said, F it. I took my hands off, and I ended up having to redo that class, but I passed all my other classes. Now, the way that financial aid works, if you fail a class, that hurts your financial aid. And I'm gonna explain to you why from the past months calling this school over and over again, why it hurts your financial aid. When you fail a class and you repeat, those credit hours are not counted. That sounds crazy, right? My GPA for that second semester was hard for that. No, excuse me.